Hello there, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Digital Quill Podcast. I'm your host, Mars Wilson. I'm your host, Mars Wilson, and today I have two wonderful women with me. I would love to introduce them. If they could go ahead and introduce themselves, that would be great.
I'm Shelley Brill. I'm the mother of Lauren Brill, the founder of the Unsealed, and I do assist her with the Unsealed at times, with a little bit of marketing and a little advice and whatever help I can give.
And a lot of love.
Go ahead, Lauren.
I'm Lauren Brill, and I am the founder of the Unsealed. I'm a former sportscaster and writer.
It's wonderful to have you back on, Lauren, and I'm glad that we were able to get your mom on today because, as you know, I do not have a very good relationship with my mother figure, but I love meeting other people who have such strong family relationships. Just to jump right into it today, Mrs. Shelley, Miss Shelley, should I call you Shelley?
Shelley's fine.
What is the most profound moment for you in being a mom?
I guess when other people see the amazing abilities and character of my children, when that's recognized, it's a very good feeling. I feel like I've done something right, and I'm very happy that the world recognizes my children's wonderful attributes. So that makes me very happy.
I love that. I did have a question prepared for you as well, Lauren, in regards to that.
Mm-hmm.
With having your mom and supporting your career, especially with creating the Unsealed, what has that felt like to you to have that energy, that person, that everything in your corner?
Yeah, I mean, I want to also give credit to my dad too. Both my parents are very supportive. My mom's a little bit more visible in the community. My dad comes to the Zooms, but my mom talks a little bit more. But both my parents have been very supportive and encouraging with anything I've wanted to do. And it means everything. I mean, a lot of people in my parents' circles, in my circles, rolled their eyes when I said I was starting the Unsealed. Like, you need to get a job. Like, what is this? It's not going to make any money. I don't get it. And I never once got that energy from either of my parents. And the reality is, like, my parents have, especially, 6, 7 years ago, my parents had the most to lose if my company failed. Because guess whose door I'd be knocking on when, things fell apart? Theirs. So they had the most to lose, and yet they were the most supportive. And it gave me confidence. It gave me a feeling of being loved, and it made me believe in myself. Like, when other people believe in you, you believe in yourself. So, I don't even think that I could tangibly I don't think I can pinpoint all the tangible ways they impacted me, because I don't know anything else. And I just know that I am who I am because of their support and their love. I know, like, when I first started the Unsealed, my mom was like sending emails so I could get speaking engagements, and I wouldn't have gotten those without her. And I needed that help and that support and that time. And then my dad, when I first started, I was really stressed out, and I was like not eating. I was working like, 2 a.m. and then waking up and starting at 8 a.m. and I just like wasn't sleeping, wasn't eating. And my dad was like, relax. Like, what's the problem here? Like, why are you so anxious and why are you so stressed? Like, just relaxed. And I said, if I fail at this, it'll be proof that I'm not as great as you think I am. It'll be proof that, like, I'm not as smart as you think I am. So, like, I have to succeed at this, because if I don't, I'm not as great as you think I am. And I want you to be proud of me. And he said, you wake up every day with a positive attitude, and I will always be proud of you. And that was such a gift, because I can control my attitude. Like, I can't control if my meta ads work or people cancel, or I guess to some degree I can control that. I can change things, but there's a lot I can't control. but I can control being like, you know what, today's going to be a good day, or today's going to be great, or this company is going to work and I believe in it. And him giving me that permission to just like not worry about so much and just have a positive attitude actually made the company more successful, because when you have a positive attitude, you pursue things differently. If you think, hey, somebody's going to sign up today, you're going to keep pushing all the avenues to get someone to sign up until someone signs up, because you know it's possible, you believe it's possible. So yeah, I think both my parents have given me confidence, have given me a framework in terms of like a way to operate that's going to be efficient, that's going to be successful, a mindset to have. And, you know, I put it into the community. I believe love is healing. And I've learned that because I think my parents gave me a lot of love. So I take a lot of the way my parent, I would say my mom was like a lot of the love and my dad was a lot of the motivation. Like she was very, very, very warm and nurturing. If you had a bad day, come give me a hug. And my dad was like, you got this, you got this. And kind of was like the, how would you describe it, Mom? Like,
Gave you pep talks like a coach.
he was the pep talker. And then my mom was like the hugger. And I think I take both of those sides and I try to treat people who are on the Unsealed the exact same way. I'm just transferring what was given to me to others. So I think my parents are probably the biggest inspirations in terms of the environment I try to create on the Unsealed.
This is speaking entirely from my own experience, but I remember the first time that I saw Shelley on the Unsealed in one of these Zoom meetings, and when you mentioned that she was your mom, I was like, we have a mom here? We do? I was like so excited because I was like, not only like have we had a rapport over the couple of years that I've been in your community, but I was like, this is entirely a selfish way of thinking, and my apologies, but sometimes I forget that people have good relationships with their parents. So I tend to forget that, oh yeah, someone's mom could be in chat right now supporting, whatever we've got going on. And when I felt that energy from you, from the way that you spoke on people's pieces in the Unsealed, I was like, again, this is entirely my own experience, but that energy that you want to put into the Unsealed, both of you have done a beautiful job of doing it. It is like a family, and I did get that like comfort and positivity, and in a way it feels like a digital hug, if that makes sense.
That's what I wanted to feel like.
Yes, beautiful. And we get a lot out of it too. We enjoy it and we feel close to people, and it a lot of the guests inspire us. A lot of her subscribers show a lot of resilience and strength, and we draw from that. So it's good for all of us. It's a big hug for all of us.
What did it mean to you? Take me back to the very first day Lauren was like, I want to create the Unsealed. What was going through your head in that moment?
Remember what I told you?
What else, Lauren?
I don't remember when I told you.
I thought it was a good idea because her letter, that was the initial motivation to start the Unsealed, went viral. And I knew she was a good writer. Initially, she was ghostwriting people's stories. I knew she was an incredible writer, and I thought this could work. People do need to express themselves through writing, and people like to, it helps for people to share their experiences and see that other people have gone through similar experiences and come out on the other side. So I definitely thought it could work. We just kind of had to figure out a way for Lauren to make a living from it. And eventually we did. But the most important thing was it was cathartic for Lauren at first. It was exciting to start a business. She was happy to make a change in her career, and I was happy that she was able to do that. And she had a good idea.
And instead of even about like the how to make money part, instead of my mom being like nagging me and be like, how are you going to make money? Da, da, da. She instead was showing up with ideas like, what if you did public speaking? And that was my mom's idea. And that's what I did in the very beginning. And I made some money that way. But she, instead of being negative and saying, well, how's this going to work? And how's that going to work? And what are you going to do about this? She was like, what if we do this? What if we do that? And like, she was throwing out ideas, which is obviously a lot more
Positive and
feels
support.
a lot better than somebody saying, here's all the things that could go wrong. So like when something didn't work, instead of saying, okay, you know, Lauren, let's move on from this and like go get a job or go do this, she was like, well, what if we do this? And some of the best ideas for my company came from my mom. And I, you know, my mother has a background in psychology. She has a master's degree, Mom. So she was probably more suited to help me with this business than I'm suited to help me with this business. So she was a really good fit. And it was, I think early on, just that positivity of like, well, how can we make this happen, instead of like, here's all the pitfalls.
I still have ideas.
Yeah, she's still sending me nonstop. And I'm like, some of them I just don't have I have to figure out how to execute them from a technical standpoint, but they're great ideas.
I might need some of that business sense. Again, this is speaking from my experience, but what you guys have created is an incredible community. Like I'm gonna say it all the time. You're gonna get sick of me saying it. I'm sorry.
We're not.
But that's what I'd actually like to agree with your point. I think writing is cathartic, and I think more people should do it, even if they don't call themselves a writer, because what have we been doing for hundreds of thousands of years before texting? We were talking to each other face to face. We were writing on stone tablets. Like, we lost that art, and I feel like that when I talk about the Unsealed, that's one of the first things I always try to make a point of. Like, guys, even if you're not a writer, sign up right now. It's like writing is healing. It's words.
And that's scientifically proven. That's not just, you think it is. Like it's proven by scientists. They've done experiments and they've shown that people who write about their feelings have lower levels of depression, anxiety, better athletic performance, less colds, like their immune system functions better. They have fewer allergies. They have fewer absences from work or school. Like it's definitely affecting people's mind, bodies, and brains.
And I find that when people write their personal story, their story is well written. You can feel what they're feeling. It's interesting because it's real life. So I think everybody could be a good writer if they're just willing to be open and honest.
Yeah, there's a quote from a famous writer. I can't think of the name, but it says like, there's nothing to writing, but all you have to do is sit down at a typewriter and bleed. So it's the same concept of just letting your heart open.
Yep.
I feel like that's something a lot of people, I mean, I've struggled with it myself, but the being vulnerable and bleeding onto the page. What would you recommend as a psychologist? What was that?
It's Ernest Hemingway. I looked it up.
Do you have a good answer for that, Lauren?
I'm sorry. What was
recommend to get started if somebody is holding in their feelings and doesn't feel comfortable writing them down? What would you recommend to help them get started?
Someone else the other day, they wrote a poem about their assault, but instead of writing about an assault, they wrote about mushrooms and like used just something more lighter to talk about something heavier. So you can use some sort of analogy or
you can use another person.
Yeah, you can.
But it really happened to you.
Yeah, you don't have to fully own it yourself if you're not ready. I personally like, claiming my own story, but you can, write a fiction story. You can write a poem. You don't have to tell the details. Like sometimes I've written poems that just said like, I'm sad today or I'm happy today, and like just write about the feeling but not the event. So I just think, find what does feel comfortable, like find the lane that does feel comfortable and go with that. Like I'm a big believer in all aspects of life of following your heart and your intuition. Listen to your body of what feels good. And if something doesn't feel good, go the other way. And that's true for writing, that's true for relationships, that's true for, where you want to go to college, right? Like
Friendships.
if you think, if you're deciding upon colleges and you get a knot in your stomach thinking about going to that one school, then that's probably not the school for you. When I'm a very anxious person. I've gotten better through the years through writing and through exercising, but when getting married, they always talk about people having cold feet and getting nervous the night before and being anxious and this and that. And as an anxious person, I'd be like the number one candidate. When I got married, I slept like a baby the night before. We had a destination wedding, so our legal wedding was like very simple local thing, and I had no anxiety. I was like, let's go, like I was so happy. And then when we got married at our destination wedding, the only thing I was anxious about was like the party, not the marriage. I was worried about everyone getting there safely, but the logistics, but like no nerves about marrying him. And I think that's your intuition. I wasn't anxious because there was something in my body that knew this is what you should be doing. Like I didn't have cold feet at all. And I was engaged when I was 21 and I was anxious. And I think I was too young to be getting married. I wasn't ready. I wasn't in the place to. And that was my intuition telling me, hey, you're not ready. And my mom was a witness to both situations. But I think, there's times in your life where your intuition just knows. Even when I started the Unsealed, I knew that this was right for me. I just knew it. And I was scared, but I knew I was following the right path. So I think listening to your body and what it's telling you is really important because your body knows.
Question for the both of you. When listening to your body, what is a key factor you look for when you're heading in a positive direction and a negative direction?
Negative for me, I feel anxious when something isn't right. I'm like, I don't want to do this. This doesn't feel good. And I get like an overwhelming amount of anxiety. When something feels right, I'm just like, let's go, wee.
So you feel driven.
What?
So in that positive feeling, you feel driven is what I'm kind of understanding.
I feel relaxed.
Relaxed. Oh.
I feel relaxed and like I don't feel that knot in my stomach. Like I don't feel resistance. Like it feels like go this way. I think with the Unsealed, when I made the decision, I felt relaxed and excited. And then once I started, I was like, let's go, and I was a little more, anxious, but the decision to start the company was very, very easy for me. It felt very right. But I think everyone's different. Mom, do you have a strong intuition?
Well, first of all, I don't have as much anxiety as you do. If I'm uncomfortable with a situation, I just try to avoid it. And as far as something positive and exciting happening and how I feel, that's very uplifting. And
but do you have like when you're making a decision in life, does your body give you like clues that like this is what I want to do, this feels right, or no? Like do you have an intuition that kind of guides you in life?
No.
So
I just look at all the facts and I make a decision. I don't know, maybe I'm a little bit more straightforward, practical.
I think I'm more, you said it, I'm more anxious than you. We're very different. That's the irony about me and my mom. We have very different personalities and demeanors. We're definitely not the same person. We look a little alike, lucky for me, but our personalities are different.
How often have you encountered where moms and daughters are peas in a pod, where they're pretty much the same person?
I'm sure it happens. I mean, I haven't delved into other people's relationships with their daughter, but I'm sure there's a lot of mother-daughter relationships that they're very, very close. And um,
I'm actually a lot like my dad, my personality probably, right? Or my grandfather.
yeah,
And my brother, we can't talk too much about him. He doesn't like to be talked about, but he's a carbon copy of my mom's father. Like personality and mannerisms are extremely similar.
I always forget that you have a brother, older or younger, and we won't talk about him anymore.
Older, I'm probably already in trouble. He'll be happy to know that you forget he exists because he doesn't like to be talked about. I actually did AI and I asked AI, does Lauren have a brother? And they're like, yes, his name is Ryan and he's a musician, and neither are true. And I'm like, he's gonna be so proud.
the important thing is to not mention his name.
Even in my book, I thanked my brother, but didn't say his name. I'm allowed to say I have a brother. I'm just not allowed to say who it is.
But anyway, off the brother subject.
We're getting in trouble.
The ears are burning. The ears are burning. Code red. Let's see. So just to be transparent, because I do not have a Google business account, we're not going to have a lot of time today. But also to continue being transparent, this is my first time having two humans to speak to instead of one. So if I have no idea how to engage both parties in a conversation, I am so sorry. I am learning.
You're perfect.
Yeah, you're doing a good job.
I appreciate that. I need the encouragement. I am sometimes an anxious mess. I try not to show it though, but my hands show it. They sweat and I fidget with them a lot.
Nothing to be nervous about.
Thank you.
You're doing very well.
Before we get on to our other conversations and topics, I know it's right now, this next couple of weeks is the hectic holiday craze, but I would love to do another episode with you guys in the future with the both of you, or with one-on-one, up to you. But be thinking it over, and I will ask that when we end the episode, because I don't want to make you guys commit while being recorded, you know?
Mars, we will always support you. We are here and we'll always support you, so it's not even a question.
Thank you. That means a lot to me. I don't know how to handle getting supported, so if I'm awkward about it, again, I'm sorry. But thank you.
Just enjoy the love.
My next question, and I guess my next topic of conversation, is going back to what we were talking about earlier, writing your conversation or writing your story in a way that feels, what were the words used? Comfortable. In a way that's comfortable. Like if you have to write it in fiction, you write it in fiction. That is why I'm writing my book, my 21 Days Gone novel, my truth turned fiction. I have gotten so tired of the 20 plus years I've been talking about my story and the facts and the emotions and the everything behind it. I am ready to turn it into a fiction so that I can close that chapter and it's done and gone. I fully support the idea of fictionalized narratives because that's what stories are at the end of the day. We tell tales as old as time just so that we can better cope with what the difficulties of being human are. So thank you for that gentle reminder.
Well,
I guess the question I have is, I tapped for questions. I mostly have conversation points. Do you guys have any questions for me?
what made you start your podcast?
So, kind of a big thing in a way. I started it because of the book. When I first started blogging, that was my introduction into being a writer for the public eye. I've been mostly keeping my stories and poems to myself. Always telling my teachers and my friends, oh, hey, I'm going to be an author one day. I'm going to be published. I'll be published by the time I'm 25, this, that, and the third. Well, I don't have a book published yet, and I'm 27. So that didn't happen. But I do have articles published. And when I started my blogging, I was like, okay, at some point, if I want to continue with my public speaking authorship career, I'll have to get into podcasting because that's like the new wave of the future or whatever. And I didn't really have, as I said, a support system who is going to support me writing this book or the journey that it takes to be an author, public speaker person. So I decided when starting the podcast, it would not only be my segue into public speaking, but also building a community of people who want to hear my story or any of my stories. It was a multitude of reasons, but the book and writing public speaking career are the focal points of why I started the Digital Quill. Plus, the Digital Quill itself is a two-parter. It's not only a digital community, but also a community. I'm trying to make a physical community because I mentioned I'm trying to get people back into doing people things. We become so disconnected with social media and the internet is only like 33 years old. So the fact that we have such divide kind of bothers and scares me because I'm like, what happened to the people? I feel like we're all robots right now.
Yeah.
Well, on the other hand, the three of us could not have this conversation together and see each other's faces without technology. So the internet does do great things as well. And it was wonderful during COVID.
Yes.
I mean, I would have gone insane without the internet on COVID because I could see my children and we could connect as a family. It was so nice. It was really nice. So it has its positives too.
I think for me, my goal is to make the positives more apparent because there's a lot of negatives we're all exposed to all the time. And the internet is a brilliant tool. I mean, I would have never gotten to meet Lauren if it wasn't for the internet. I would not get to have this conversation right now and feel enlightened and uplifted and supported. So thank you.
Use it. It's how you use it and the balance. Yeah.
And look at all we learn and can research. And I travel through the internet. I follow people who are in China and England and all these different countries. I follow them on Instagram and I learn and I see how people live in different cultures. And I love it. I'm not traveling to those countries, but I am in a way through the internet.
Mars, I actually this kind of goes back to our conversation before, but I wanted to make a comment to you or I had a thought for you. You had mentioned that you didn't have a mother-daughter relationship like I have with my mother. And you mentioned that for the holidays, you didn't necessarily have a strong family unit like some other people have. But I think, the interesting part about life, you kind of have like part one and part two, right? Like you're born into a family and then you get to create a family on your own as you get older. So as you get, and if you decide to like choose a partner and have children and do that, you now know what you want. You now have seen how, a mother-daughter can be and what it looks like. So you can always create what you weren't given. And people do that. I've had friends who grew up in very unfortunate situations and grew up to have beautiful families of their own. And you don't have to have, it can look however you want. It could be a really really warm and loving group of friends. It could be a partner. It could be children. It could be adoption. It could be foster children. It could be mentoring. It could be, hey, my neighbor and I are family, but you can create a relationship with whoever you like and create one that's healthy and positive and loving and encouraging and supportive. My biggest thought with that is you just have to be really diligent about who you let in your life and who stays in, because not everyone is going to have that positive dynamic with you. And but some people do. And when the people do, they stay and everyone else goes, right? You keep that strong circle. I call circle of peace. If they disrupt your peace, they leave the circle. So you just have to be really diligent about like who you choose to be part of your life and give your heart to, and invest time, energy in, and who does the same for you. But you can create what you weren't given.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I think creation is beyond just writing and the podcast.
Yes.
I think creation is a big focal point in my life because found family is definitely one of the big words in that weird word map. I don't know what that's called. The map where you have all these words and some of them are bigger. And do you know what I'm talking about? No.
I have a visual. Way to describe it.
It's found family creation. I like that. The circle of peace. I'm going to adopt that from now on because my peace is important to me. I
remember when I was dating, I dumped someone and he was like, "Why?" I'm like, "You're disrupting my peace, so you have to leave the circle." And he was like, "What is she talking about?"
I love that.
Like myself, like I had a circle of peace. If you disrupt peace, you leave the circle. And it was simple. Like it wasn't like you didn't have to do anything crazy or bad, but if you were like inconsistent and making me unhappy, like you were disrupting my peace. And I was very protective of my peace. And I'm like that with friendships too. Like if, friendships have to go both ways. And if they're not, then it just, I don't have to make a scene. I just kind of distance myself.
Now, I don't have a psychology degree, but I love everything that you said there. I would like to take it from a psychologist's point of view and analyze this as deeply as possible.
That's you, Mom, because you have the master's.
Okay, what are we analyzing?
Circle of peace and found family and the subject of that.
So just for transparency, she has a master's degree, but you're not a licensed psychologist.
Right. Well, I can just talk from a common sense point of view, in my opinion, that you just avoid people who don't make you happy, who are not happy when you have accomplishments, who are not jealous of you, who celebrate your happiness. You go with the positive people and you stay away from the negative. It's very simple. And maybe your circle of friends will be small, but it'll be quality.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it was actually my dad's cousin. My dad has a cousin who I love, who's a member of the Unsealed. Her name is Rochelle. And she gave me some really wise words once. She said, a lot of people say you find out who your true friends are when things are bad. She goes, but I think you find out who your true friends are when things are good, when they're really good, because that's when you see who's truly happy for you. And I think there's something to that.
Yep.
Who celebrates your wins.
Yep.
I might have to take a deeper look at some of the relationships in my life on that note.
They have to give you peace, make you happy, not be jealous of you, be proud of you, willing to help you to reach your goals. You only want good people in your life.
For someone who, I would like to say, what is your advice for someone who feels like they struggle with that, but I feel like I'm just going to get the same thing?
Are you saying you have people in your life who don't give you peace?
I tend to overthink absolutely everything all the time. I tend to also get in my head when it comes to self-doubt. I've been able to name it as not only imposter syndrome, but also like self-doubt, the voice of anxiety, so to speak. When I'm in that headspace, it's hard for me to recognize the good or like the peace that people do bring me, because all I'm focusing on is, wow, they didn't pick up like after themselves like I asked them to, or like that kind of thing, if that makes sense.
I mean, if it sounds like your self-esteem is not real strong, and I'm sure there's a reason for that. And I would suggest talking it out with somebody, and it might take quite a lot of conversations, but you've got to kind of tear your history down, and then someone will help you build it back up.
Much appreciated. Thank you.
Also, one thing I learned too was like, not everyone's actions, like everyone has their own set of challenges in life, their own set of issues, and not everything that affects you is about you. Like I kind of learned this when I was dating. Like one time this guy didn't call me back, and he like kind of blew me off, and I was super offended. Or we were supposed to hang out, and then he just like, he told me that last minute that he couldn't, but like I didn't know what was going on. And then later on I found out like his father was sick, and like he had emerged, like it was like something that literally had nothing to do with me, wasn't a reflection of how he felt about me. It was literally just like life happens. He was overwhelmed in the moment, wasn't ready to tell me what happened with his family, and then came back and told me later. And it was just like it was like a light bulb went off that like not everything that affects you is about you. And so it's also being like hyper aware of like sometimes other people's behaviors isn't a knock to you, isn't trying to hurt you, and just to be open-minded and patient with people. And you mentioned like when someone doesn't clean up when you ask them to. I'm messy, and I don't always clean up when my husband asks me to. I try to be better, but sometimes like I'm really tired. And I think I've had to learn to push myself to do a little more. And he has to learn to, or he has learned to just kind of be patient with me and accept me for the imperfect person I am, right? So there's like a little bit of balance on both. Like sometimes I'll just say, listen, I'll promise I get the dishes done by this point. So he'll know that if I say I'm going to get it done by then, I'll get it done. It'll happen. And then he just like lets it go because he knows I'm going to do it. But there's being open-minded to realizing not everything that hurts you is about you, and also communicating and being patient with people. But that me and my husband can do that because he knows I guess because we love each other, and we are, I know if he really wants the dishes done, I'll go do them now. And he knows if I'm really tired, he doesn't want to make me do it. So we feel that energy, so we're more able to work with each other.
That makes sense. I definitely have a self-confidence issue. It's been ever present in my life, my entire life, no matter how much time I've spent talking about it with someone or working through it. It's one of the things about me that I'm concerned I'll never get fully over until one day I wake up and I realize, wow, what happened to the not so confident version of myself? I don't remember her, if that makes sense.
You have to tell yourself, I'm going to get over this. Not I hope I don't. I mean, I don't know if I will. You have to believe that destination is already destined for you. Like that's already predetermined. You're going to get there. You're just figuring out how. And to me, I would start, there's one thing I would do that I think helps everybody. I mean, or definitely helps me. I'd work out, because just working out and seeing your muscles get stronger, your body feel healthier, your brain functioning at a higher frequency, I think helps with self-esteem tremendously.
And I work out too.
I would work out. I don't care what you do, if it's lifting, if it's boxing, if it's tennis, whatever it is. I think seeing your body physically get stronger, I think helps your mind get stronger too. So I would work out. And then I would be really strict about my circle. I would not be around anybody who says anything unkind to you.
Right.
Like, do not tolerate people who criticize you in a way that's mean, who puts you down. My husband doesn't like when I make fun of myself, like completely jokingly. Like when we got married, we were walking off the beach, and someone said, "Oh, you got married?" I said, "Yeah, it's funny. Somebody would finally marry me." And I was completely joking. And my husband goes, "I don't like when you say that. Like, I don't like when you say anything that puts you down." So we don't ever even make jokes to put each other down, like ever. Like we're never the butt of each other's jokes. We don't find it funny. So I think being around people that don't put you down ever is really important. And then the third thing I think for self-esteem, um, I think reminding yourself the things that you're good at, reminding yourself that you're like, literally having these pep talks with yourself. Like, you know, I joke that, you know, depending on the day, sometimes I'm like, why isn't the unsealed further? And then sometimes I'm like, look what I created. And, you know, you got to have more of the look what I created conversations with yourself than the why am I not further conversations, but being really intentional about having conversations with yourself that point out what you have done well and what you do well, and that you're a kind person. And, you know, go through that process. Just like if you had a child in front of you, you would say, oh, wow, you did so well today at school, or you did, you know, right? Like you have to have those same thoughtful conversations with yourself, reinforcing what you like about yourself.
I like
Yeah.
the workout point. I that was probably the most confident I felt when I was going to the gym every day for an hour and then working on my writing and productive work, like the two things that help my brain.
And the exercise, it's not just about your body. It actually does feed endorphins to your brain. So you mentally feel better when you work out.
I need to go back to the gym.
I just started trying yoga too, and I went to yoga the other day, and it felt like I felt so zen after. I was like, oh my God, I feel so relaxed and happy. And like, I don't know, it was just,
Did they do Namaste, Lauren, at the end?
they did this thing where we lied out in a tea, and I almost fell asleep. And when she said the class was over, I'm like, I don't want to move. Like, but I was so relaxed, and I've never tried a single drug in my life. But I would assume that's what feeling high was like. It felt so euphoric.
Yeah.
It just, and it was yoga. Like it has no side effects. I mean, if I get addicted, I'll live forever. Like getting addicted to yoga is a good thing.
Yeah. I like the yoga.
Um, you know, I don't know. Just I think the body and the mind are very connected. If your body is strong and blood is flowing and you're physically feeling good, it supports your mental well-being. And I know me, when I've ever felt like, you know, even, you know, we're women, when we have our cycle and we feel bloated and we feel gross, like that feeling, we don't feel mentally as good, right? And actually working out also helps balance out your hormones. So when your cycle comes around, you don't feel as bloated and you don't feel as symptoms as heavily.
Interesting.
Old
Yeah. Just like, I just think working out is just such a base level thing you can do to improve your self-esteem, your mental health. And then I think also only being around people that are going to lift you up. Like, yeah, I wanted to create the Unsealed partially because I wanted to create a space where someone could always go to and know that, like, I'm going to receive kindness, encouragement, support, love. No one's going to hate on me. No one's going to judge me. No one's going to knock me down. Because I know when we go out into the world, especially as women, people are going to try to like roll their eyes at us, put us down, be passive aggressive, especially I felt like in corporate environments. They would try to convince us we're not as smart as we think we are. So I wanted that on the Unsealed to be that space where we pointed out people's strengths and we showed them support, love, and encouragement. But you should only be seeking out people who treat you like we treat you at the Unsealed, because you will feel better about yourself. It's just human nature. If somebody said mean things to me every day, I wouldn't feel so good about myself.
Now, just before we hop into the next subject, according to Google, we have 6 minutes left in the workspace. We can do two things. We can either let the episode rest today, or once the timer runs out, we can hop into another call. What are we feeling?
Because I have a cold, I think I want to rest today.
I
Um,
fully respect that, and I was actually hoping we would suggest that because I don't. I recently got over a cold. It was a head cold too, so I wanted to sleep the entire time. Um,
yeah, after this, I'm gonna make myself some tea and lay down.
Tea is good. Breathe in the steam if you can too. If you have a washcloth, put it over your face with the with like warm water. If you have a microwave, let it heat up for like 15 seconds. It should help with the congestion in your sinuses.
That's a good idea. Didn't know that. Thank you.
Of course, I have a lot of holistic healing methods because modern medicine is good, but so is also the home remedies.
Sure. I mean, for hundreds of years, that's what people relied on. And a lot of them worked. The herbs, Chinese medicine is fascinating, acupuncture.
I love acupuncture. I haven't done it yet, but I know everyone who has done it absolutely loves it. And I'm like, I think I should get under the needle soon.
I've done it, yeah. And it doesn't hurt. It's very like little pokes. I've done it.
It'll help my migraines.
I really think it will.
All right. Well, thank you both again for being on this episode with me today. I feel more confident with doing multiple episodes and also with having guests on, especially when they're so kind as you guys are. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Pleasure. We enjoyed it.
I'm going to have this episode up later today, so I will send the email link to Lauren, and I will have her send it to you. Let's try to get together in January for hopefully a longer episode, because I'll work on the schematics on my end for that.
All right, you did very well.
Thank you.
And I'll be happy to return.
I hope you start feeling better soon.
We
could even bring my dad on the next one. He's the taco family.
Actually, yes. I've not done that. Would be let's do that. Let's do that for January.
Okay.
You got it.
All right. I hope you have a wonderful day, the both of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Mars. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays to you too.
Happy holidays. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Well, thank you guys for joining me on this wonderful and experimental episode of the Digital Quill podcast featuring the Unsealed. I hope you guys have a great day. As always, humans of Earth, keep going, and I will see you next time.